Check, 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 check. Testing, testing. Let me put my headphones on. What's poppin', everybody? I'm not gonna be here long because I'm super tired. I'm extremely tired right now. Let me check something. Check, check. Yo, yo. Check, check. Yo, yo. Check, check. Yo, yo. Y'all let me know if the audio is good. Okay. All right. Y'all let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if you can hear everything. What's poppin', Main G? I'm super tired. Unfortunately, I doubt that there's gonna be an OPOT for this week, mainly because wait, hold on. What's going on? Come on back. Come on back. I don't know what's going on. YouTube already on it. Already on that BS, y'all. Okay, now what's going on with this? Having all kind of stuff going on. I swear I do not have the time. All right, y'all, give me 1 second. Get my charger. All right. How is everybody doing out there? How's everybody doing this week? I hope y'all out there are having a blessed week. Hope everybody out there is having a good week. I hope everybody last week had a good week. A lot of very, very heavy energy going on. What's up, baby girl? Very heavy. A lot of heavy energy, especially for the oh, what's poppin', K? What's good with you? My Oshun, my daughter of Oshun, that is the Taurus, the god of, or the goddess of luxury. And we got Tori the Christ in the building. Yeah, it's been crazy. And I talked about a lot of stuff. Last time with the Libra full moon. What's up, B-Hop? I talked about a lot of stuff last time with the Libra full moon. The day that my car stopped. Last week had me feeling lightheaded. Yeah. Real heavy. Super heavy. You know? And I thought it was gonna end there. But then this DMX stuff went down. And it's like I'm mad I'm mad at myself because I didn't see this coming. I'm mad that I didn't see this coming. I got to go back to my my OPOT and see did I leave any clues, because I know I probably did. But so yesterday definitely a lot of air pressure. Yep. Yesterday I got me a spliffy for the first time in a while. Yeah, I mean, and I was kind of happy about that because I've been on my hemp for a while, you know. And it's just something about when you kind of take a break, you know, from doing that, and then you go back and the channels and the thoughts and all the stuff that just rushes in. So I definitely know Akasha is in the building. Shout out to Akasha. She protected a lot of people. She kept a lot of people sane when Aaliyah was here. Like I always say, when it comes to SU, a lot of times we don't realize how important SU really was until he's gone. Same way with Oshun. Same way. You know. Now I don't got a mix, but before I get like really started, I like to give y'all a musical selection. So what's up, Janet? So this is actually a Back in One Piece remix that I did. This was back in what, 2011 or 2012, and it's something that I noticed around that time because if don't nobody know, because a lot of people subscribe to me. What's up, baby girl? What's good with you? Glad you were able to stop by, you and Sun Goddess. During this time, I experimented a lot with my sound as a rapper, because if y'all don't know, I'm a musician first. I'm a rapper first. That's what I do. And I know y'all, you know, for those who came to my channel, who found me because of my spiritual path and all of that stuff, I talk about the Mr.BandClap a lot. You know, before I synonymized the Mr.BandClap with SU. I appreciate that. Now, I'm over here thinking that, you know, this is just something new that I've discovered, but no. I've been doing the Mr.BandClap even in my younger days as a rapper, which I'm gonna show y'all right now. This is a remix, but I used to call it Mr. Chipmunk. So you had Mr.BandClap and then you had Mr. Chipmunk. Well, this is so you had Playboy P, which is my rap name. So you had Playboy P and then Mr. Chipmunk. And Mr. Chipmunk was the baby SU rapping. So before we get started, I'm gonna play that and then I'll be back. This is the Back in One Piece remix that I did. It's me, this guy named MPD. What's up, Gabby the Goddess? All my Virgo moons in the building. Sun Goddess, go look at my 3-part series about Aaliyah. In part 1, I'll talk about Aaliyah and R. Kelly. I'll break that whole thing down. Also, watch my video about the metaphysics of suicide. You know, I talked about all of that. All right. So I'm about to hit y'all with this remix. And like the brother Berleezy always says, Ish, get it. This is a BandClap production.
And I don't know what you talking about. I know you fine as hell, but you ain't got no ass. So I don't know why you keep on poking it out and switching your hips when you walk past.
Damn, bro, for real?
For real? Please send me this shit when I record.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you, fool.
No, bro. Hey, bro, that wasn't even me, fool.
You
That
can
wasn't even
sing,
me, bro.
fool. I know you can sing like that, fool.
You suck, fool. You suck.
I'm posting this shit, fool. Damn.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah. What it do? What it do? Yes, you know I had to rap on this, man. Play up in the building, Mr. Chipmunk. MPD in the building. Hey, Mr. Chipmunk, don't sing on this jump, fool.
Hell no, nigga, shut up, bro. You gotta erase this shit, bro.
Bring it on in on it. Let's go.
Don't kill it right quick. Don't kill it right quick, bro. Don't kill it, bro. Let's go.
I am ballin' like magic, racking, living like so lavish. Just put 24s on my caddy classic, swerving, looking out for traffic. On tracks I reach so much havoc, punchlines go automatic. Ready to put these young and white plastic rappers in the early casket. I'm about my paper, got money rolling like 26. Explosive, futuristic, exquisite lyrics, I'm so addicted. Wanna hit that strip, I'm straight ripping bad bitches in the back. Shoot off like a gat, hater steady watching like Cinemax. How ill is that? Hit the strip club and throw up a couple racks. Nouveau Rose popping, them bottles cost me 500 flat. All the muscle flashy, these trashy haters don't know how to act. Plus I keep that Thule, my goonies packing, we fully strapped. Hit the VIP, sip the Hennessy with my fellow peeps. Niggas talking beef, but them suckers shaking like jello beef.
Yeah, bro, you went hard on this one, fool.
Yeah, what up, Chipmunk? Mr. Chipmunk, don't kill that hoe.
Yo, I'm in my matching strippers dancing steady, glassing with panoramic view, and I don't know what to do. I see some girls looking round, they ain't got no ass, and they poking it out every time they walk past. I'm like, damn, baby girl, why you gotta be like that? I don't know, only thing is that I know is that I can't rap, but I can stay on the beat. It's Mr. Chipmunk, and you know what I do in the street. I like to get crunk, yeah. And I'm still on this beat, yeah,
Okay.
and I'm back on these nuts.
You stupid. Hey, I like that. I like that. I like that.
I said I'm still on this beat,
MPD.
and if you don't like me, you can get on these nuts.
Dog need a real chick, so that's what I'm going for. But this rap game calling me more than B4. You know me, I'm chasing this rap, taking shits on beats and it's splitting open my ass crack. What the fuck you niggas trying to do? You think I ain't talking about you, Mr. MC? Well, we'll see who truly got skills for the world to see. Man, you know it's me. I got a different type of dog in this 2C. Is it corny? Say it's far-fetched? I don't know, dog. Hip-hop got me so blessed, cause it's on every song I go 100%. I love feeding you niggas these hot 16s, cause it's like a seed that grows into a tree. And soon enough, I live that triple beam dream. And even now, you niggas can't fuck with me. They quick to betray a brother like Cain and Abel. Just cause I'm getting paper, I ain't talking staples. You shouldn't let jealousy change you. You other niggas down here just ain't stable. I'm on the sky high dragon, spitting straight flames. Been killing all you fake niggas all day. Like I said, man, I have no shame. So keep spreading all that bullshit up about my name.
You know what it is, man. Play what
And if you don't like it, you can get on these
And we out, man.
It's Flavor P and MPD, and I'm still on this beat.
It's good, man.
And if you don't like it, you can get on these nuts.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah, man, you know what it is, man. Mr. Chipmunk in the building, man. You know what it is, man. Playboy P and MPD,
Damn,
man. You know
man.
what it is, bro. Let go.
Yo, shout out Playboy P,
Eastside in the
Mr. Chipmunk.
building.
You already know, man. We do our thing around here. TSC. Fuck y'all niggas.
What's up? What's up? I'm trying to get Yo. So, this was MTSU BandClap. aka Playboy P. Yeah, I mean, I had to drop that because it was nostalgia. You said let them hear how you sound now. You said let them hear how you sound now. That's funny. So yeah, that was me about what 8 or 9 years ago. When I and I was just doing this for fun, you know. I would make these little skits and stuff, and you know, I would have the baby BandClap, aka or the baby SU, aka Mr. Chipmunk. You know, he had his own little rap name, and you know. So now, as Mr.BandClap, I'm still doing the same exact thing, but I'm just utilizing this same energy, just in a different way. Just in a different way. But don't get it twisted, because I can hop in that rapper bag. I can hop in that rapper bag anytime I want to. You know. I can hop in that bag anytime I want to when you come to Orlando. Yeah, you know. But I wanted to play that song. I wanted to play that song as a premise to kind of what I want to talk about. I want to start off by saying all of the things that you learn in this life, all the things that your parents and people say is bad, is wrong, don't do it. When we're talking about learning things, learning from different spiritual systems and learning from different, you know, spiritual backgrounds and stuff like that. It will behoove you to learn as much of that as you can, because this is the information that is not only going to save you. This is also the information that you're going to be able to use to predict and also to be able to analyze the things that's going on in the media, in Hollywood, and all of that stuff, because it's nothing but a big magic game. It's nothing but a big Ouija board game, pretty much. It's a big game, you know. Remember, the first tarot cards were regular playing cards. The first playing cards were used for divination. Now, what do we use playing cards for? We use playing cards to play games, you know? So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because with everything that's going on right now, with this SU energy, because that's really what's going on right now in its core. I told y'all in the first video, I told y'all that if you were doing what you were supposed to do as far as your spiritual journey, you've been doing the work, you know. Shout out to Melanie, the spirit doula. She's been really talking about doing the work, you know. We got a whole university, Spiritual Ascension University. Any type of spiritual work that you're inquiring about, any type of spiritual work, when we say do the work, you know, you can't say, oh, I don't know what you mean by do the work. Spiritual Ascension University, you know, is there. So, like I said, there's no excuse. There's no excuse anymore as far as you saying that that you can't do the work. So if you've been doing what you're supposed to do at this point, then when this full moon in Libra came by, you should have been receiving a lot of harvest. You should have been receiving a lot of good things. You should have been receiving some money, some prosperity, some abundance. This should have been a good time for you if you've been doing what you're supposed to do, you know. And I know it have been for me, because one of the other reasons why there won't be a OPOT this week is because even though I've been working, nonstop at this, for this WWE stuff, I've been getting an influx of readings to the point where I got a reading every single day. You know, I got hella readings that I got to do now, and it just popped out of nowhere. Everything started the night that my truck went out. It started then, and it hasn't stopped. You know, it haven't stopped. So if you've been doing what you're supposed to do spiritually, then you know this full moon has been good. Now, also, since we are reaching a different plateau in this reality, like I've been saying for a while. Shout out to Eloise Kit, was good. Some people had Ascension symptoms. A lot of people had Ascension symptoms these past couple weeks, you know. And having Ascension symptoms right now, at least for me, is kind of dangerous, because every 4 days we have to test for COVID. Every 4 days we got to test for COVID. So if you're going through Ascension symptoms and then you take that test, it just might come out positive, even though you don't got the WOVID, you know. But even though, because Easter Sunday I was super sick. Like they when they gave me that test, they stuck that needle so far up my nose that, you know, it was irritating my nose to the point where I started sneezing and coughing and, you know, got cold symptoms and all of this stuff. So I had to spend all of Easter Sunday getting myself together, you know, healing myself, you know. No, I'm not. You know, I'm not. So I had to spend Sunday. I was actually planning to do live readings on Sunday, but I just couldn't muster up the strength to do it. So Monday came along, and now all of this DMX stuff is going on. All of this DMX stuff. And when I first heard about DMX being in the hospital, I was like, oh shit. You know? And I started feeling bad. I'm like, damn. We finna lose another one. And then something was like, yo, look at DMX natal chart. You know? Because I was like, you know what? I know that the DMX represents Anubis, you know? So a lot of people aren't just like people wouldn't have been able to understand the relationship between Aaliyah and R. Kelly. people really wouldn't have been able to understand the relationship between Aaliyah and DMX. It just works, you know. And like I said, there's a lot of artificial stuff. Like, y'all don't realize to what extent the music industry has been infiltrated. You know, a lot of people still don't understand. Like, people like, oh, I wish that hip hop could be the way it used to be. I wish this could be like this, you know. But this music industry have been infiltrated a long time ago, you know. Like, you had artists back in the Motown days talking about they feel like they're being hooked up to a machine, and they feel like that they got computer chips lodged into their brain, and all of these different things, you know. So this has been going on for a while now. See, you catching on. So I looked at his natal chart, and he's a Sagittarius, but he's a Virgo moon. That's when the Gemini in me, the Legba in me, was about to start breaking down. I was like, damn, not again. But then the baby SU came out. And the baby SU, he was kind of like, why are you sad? You know, the baby SU doesn't, the baby SU can't die. You know, he can't die. The baby SU is not scared of death because he can't die. You know? And then I had to think about it. Right now, a lot of people, this system of soulless beings is re-energizing right now, re-energizing your fear of death. See, I may not be able to do the on point Orisha tarot, but I'm just going to intuitively tell y'all what to look out for this week. Fear and death. They don't go hand in hand. They don't go hand in hand. You know, you're never supposed to fear death. Why are you not supposed to fear death? Because you're not supposed to have invested so much in this game. That's why, you know. So it's kind of like, you know, when you're driving a car and you might have a long road trip ahead of you, you know. But while you're on this road trip, you know, while you're on this road trip, you know that sooner or later you're gonna have to end up getting out of the car and going home. You know, you're not gonna be in that car for your whole life. Yeah, it might be a you know, it might be a 12-hour trip, you know. But the thing about it is, even though it's a 12-hour trip, you still got to get out that car and go home. You know, you can't be so attached to the car that you don't want to get out of it so you can go home. That's like somebody parked in the driveway and you're like, oh, I love this car so much. Oh my God, I love this car so much. You know, I don't want to get out of it so I can go home. Man, it don't matter if you got a Lambo. Nigga, when that road trip is over, you gonna be like, yo, like I'm tired. I'm ready to get up out this car so I can go home. You know, go in the house. You know? So right now, like I said, you know, with the Visine that's going on, and you know things come in threes. They talking about there's a third strain that's about to wreck the world. There's a third strain, you know, all of this stuff going on to make you fear death. Because they like, man, if you don't take that Visine, you know, you might end up dying from the woovit. You know? And that fear of death in you would be so strong that you would bypass all of your intuition and go ahead and do it, you know, and then still end up dying, you know. So right now, this is very important of invigorating yourself with life, with truth, with happiness, everything that your inner child provides right now. You know, that's the type of vibe this week that you need to be on right now. You need to be on that high vibrational type of vibe, because everything else around you is going to put you in fear, you know. So what happened to DMX? Well, DMX is a casualty of the game. DMX was a casualty to the game, you know. And we know in this game, in order for you to rise to higher plateaus in this game, you know, in this music industry, you have to play the game. You know, I know y'all heard that before. I know y'all heard that, oh, the reason why this person fell off is because they didn't want to play the game. You know, they didn't want to play the game. And we know that SU, he loves to play games. But why is it that every time, you know, a SU is discovered in Hollywood, Hollywood is like, no, you got to play our game. You got to play our game. And just like how you put a quarter, you put currency, you put a piece of your currency, in that slot so you can get a turn in the game. You know, the currency that you have in this music game, in this rap game, is your soul. You know, so the more pieces of your soul that you put in this rap game or in this game, the farther ahead you go. And there's a price for everything. There's a price for everything. You know, people think that the only way that you can get ahead in the rap game or in the Hollywood game is if you sacrifice somebody, or if you sacrifice somebody as far as somebody dying or something like that. You know, and that's you know, that's something that happens, but that's not the only thing. You know, that's not the only thing. That's not the only way. I'm gonna say it like that. That's not the only way. That's not the only way. So in order to, and the thing about it is, I'm just starting at Nas. I'm just starting at Nas, but any of my other spiritualists out there who are more history oriented when it comes to the things that's been going on, because I haven't really, you know, with me being busy, I haven't really been paying attention to the media like that. But ever since last night, the word Nas keep coming up in my head. Nas. Shout out to Nas. So as we know, in this month of March, Nas got a Grammy. Nas got a Grammy, you know, and all this stuff is gonna make sense when I get to DMX. So Nas, he got a Grammy. When you add up the date that he got his Grammy, it equals the number 6. We know that Nas is a Virgo. Nas is a Virgo, you know. So that's the issue. But Nas, just like all of the other Virgos that has came through the music industry, not only is Nas controlled to a certain extent, but Nas is also playing the game. Yep. He's also playing the game, you know, and this is like a magical game. This is kind of like the way the baby SU was explaining this to me. He was like, this is kind of like a real life Dungeons and Dragons, a real life magical Ouija board almost type of game, you know. But you can't understand the game pieces. You can't understand the game pieces unless you're very, very experienced in occultism and being able to decode symbols and being able to tackle on a certain spiritual system to help you to understand this game. Because there's different ways that I can break this down, but you know me, I deal with the Orishas. So I'm gonna break this down as far as dealing with the Orishas, because we understand that Eshu represents the Christ energy. You know, Eshu is the divine son of Olodumare. Olodumare, you know, that's the source. That's source. You know, that's source. So what does this part have to do with Nas? Well, let's look at what Nas' name stands for. Nasir. 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 Nasir means helper or one who gives victory. It's an Arabic name. You know, Nasir, helper or one who gives victory. You know. So that part right there, that already says something. Now, when you look up Nas' middle name, because he got a very, very interesting middle name. His middle name is Ben Olu Dara. Ben, B-I-N, Olu, O-L-U, Dara, D-A-R-A. That is actually a phrase. And it means God is good. You know, so this is the helper, a helper of God. God is good, you know. And then you take his last name, Jones. You take his last name, Jones. Jones means son of loan. You know, son of loan. Loan. We know what loan means when you talk about taking out a loan and stuff like that. And we also know what Jones is when we're talking about somebody jonesing for something. You know, it's a slang. You know, he ain't smoked his crack, so he over here jonesing. He over here jonesing for it. Now, Jones in that sense means a fixation on or compulsive desire for someone or something, typically a drug or an addiction. You know, nasty Nas. So we know what Nas was addicted to. You know, he was addicted to the milkshakes. You know, among other things. Now, loan, when we talk about Hebrew, because that's what Jones is it means son of loan in Welsh origin, but in Hebrew, Joan, wait, where is it? Joan, I had it right here. I had it. Because loan, loan, it also means John. I'm trying to, Loan is a variation of the name John. Loan is a variation of the name John. There was one more thing, because it was, I'm trying to bring this all together. So you got John, because his literally, when you break his last name down far enough, you get why Nas calls himself God's son. You know, God's son. That's what he always called himself, God's son. I usually go to the etymology dictionary, a few other places. You know, so we see why Nas rose to fame when it comes to his musical talents and stuff like that. And one of the main things that he was known for was his feud with Jay-Z. Now, when we talk about DMX, when we talk about Nas, DMX, and Aaliyah, why is Jay-Z the lowest common denominator in all of those people? You know, Jay-Z and Nas had a beef. You know, and Nas dropped Ether. He dropped Ether. And what is Ether? And I want y'all to put this in y'all back pocket, because when I talk about DMX, this is gonna come back. This is gonna come back out. Ether is the element that connects us to spirit, intuition, and other realms and planes. Ether is space, stillness, that which contains and holds. Ether is the synergy of all elements. You know, another word for ether is Akasha. Another word for ether is Akasha. You know, now you see how Nas plays a part in this. So Nas wanted a Grammy. He wanted a Grammy, you know. So the people who created this game was like, okay, if you want a Grammy, you need to alchemically sacrifice for us a goat and a snake. And when you sacrifice this goat and this snake, it needs to equal up to 6. The energy needs to equal up to 6. Now, with this, I haven't really heard nobody else talk about this. I don't even know if this is something that that I can even talk about on here. I don't know. I may have to take this down because this is very, very sacred type of information when it comes to this. One thing that we as melanated people used to do, we had the power to create souls. We had the power to fashion, we had the power to fashion and create souls, and we used to have this power to where we could say we want a certain goddess or a certain god energy to come to the earth. We knew how to alchemically take certain elements and certain things and put them together, and create this. It's finna get real deep. So Bobby Hemmett, he did this lecture. And he talks about this in a lot of his lectures, where he talks about, he had this debate with this scientist that was at this college and stuff. And he was like, first he was just a fly on the wall, and then they started talking, and then they started with this conversation about how back in the olden days, you had these African priests. You had these priests. Priest. That's what it was. So remember when I was talking about Nas? Nas, his last name, Jones, it means son of a priest. Son of a priest. And I think that's in Hebrew. So that's where the God son. Okay. So Bobby Hemmett had this debate with this scientist, and the scientist was like, so how could you take blood from a hen, and then you go and take some shells, and then you go take a goat, and you take this and you take that, and you can mix it together, and you can use that energy to heal somebody? Straight Panther, you know what I'm talking about? So Bobby Hemmett was like, oh, I got him now. Oh, I got him now. I got him now. I got him now. And so he started to break it down. Now, this was a while ago since I seen this particular lecture. So I know he was saying something about the electromagnetic force field and all those things. These are all alchemical things that we as melanated people would learn in the mystery schools and stuff like that. We don't have mystery schools no more. We have history schools. His story. We don't have schools that teach you about my story, your story. You don't have schools that teach you about how to unlock the mysteries within you. So if you understood down to the deepest molecule about your soul and stuff like that, then you will be able to go out in nature and find different fragments of things that represent your soul and put these things together in a ceremonial, ritualistic type of way, and you will be able to create that. Now, I don't got all the answers to this. You know, I'm just a messenger. I don't got all the answers on how to do it, you know, all of this stuff. But I just know that I'm onto something with this research. I know I'm onto something. I just don't know all the answers to it, you know. So what do you have to create? If you want to artificially create a SU, what's up, Yvette B? If you artificially wanted to create a energy that is similar to SU, you would need something that symbolizes or something, you need something that symbolizes, because SU is a child, you know, he's a kid, you know, he's the conscious baby. So you got to have that part. But when it comes to the earthly standpoint, just like the baby Oshun, the baby SU, he has the potential to be the greatest of all time. He has the potential to be the greatest of all time. You know? Now, the second thing that you would need, you would need serpent wisdom. See, this is all symbolic. This is all symbolic. You need serpent wisdom. You need serpent wisdom, you know? And this is the reason why when we talk about SU energy coming to Earth, Scorpio and Virgo women are the best women to bring SU to Earth, you know? Because it's already hard for Oya to have kids anyway. You know, it's already hard. You know, she's most known for her 9 miscarriages. She's the mother of 9. She's mostly known for her 9 miscarriages. You know? So we know when we're talking about animals and stuff like that, Scorpio represents the snake. Scorpio represents the snake. Okay? What do you call a baby goat? Somebody put in the chat. What do you call a baby goat? What do you call a baby goat? A baby goat. Does anybody know? I ain't got a lot of time, so if you know it, type it in. A kid. There you go. There you go. So you got a kid, the baby goat. Yep. Y'all got it. The baby goat. You got the kid. And then you got the serpent wisdom, aka the snake, the Scorpio. The serpent wisdom. Okay? So in order for Nas to get his Grammy, which equals 6, he needs to sacrifice a goat and a snake, which means that two people are going to be sacrificial for this situation. And these people, one of these people are going to have a Capricorn moon, and one of these people are going to have a Scorpio moon. So here comes Lil Nas X. Here comes the Lil Nas X. So Lil Nas X, Lil Nas X, he is a Capricorn moon. And what is Lil Nas X sun sign? Does anybody know? Cause I thought I had it pulled up. Let me see. Let me see anybody say it in the chat. Who knows Lil Nas X sun sign? So Lil Nas X, he is a Capricorn moon. And he is a Aries sun. Aren't we in Aries right now? Aren't we in Aries right now? Yep. So we're in Aries. So he's an Aries sun. Fire. You know, fire. And then he's a Capricorn moon. And he's also a birth path 5. He's a birth path 5. So if this was a video, if this was a board game, you got to put your Lil Nas X chip on the 5th house on your because this is a game. So the 12 houses, the chart with the 12 houses that look like a watch that got the houses and stuff on it. On the 5th house, you got to put your game piece on the 5th house. Because see, Nas himself is a birth path 7. You know? He's a birth path 7, and we know that the 7th house has to deal with partnerships, marriage, one-to-one relations, alliances or conflicts, and other legal matters. You know? So if Nas wanted the Grammy, which is 6, so now he got the 5. You know? 5, like I always said, 5 is a sacrificial number, you know? So now Lil Nas X, he got a job to do. I told y'all to watch out for the Super Bowl commercials. Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all that? 5 is also the number, is also Oshun too. I told y'all on the Super Bowl video to watch out for the commercials. They actually kind of hinted to the Lil Nas X video in one of the Super Bowl commercials. I couldn't talk about it, you know, until it happened. So I had to wait, you know. I had to wait for a minute. So let's see if this Lil Nas X video checks off the checklist of the 5th house. Let's see. So Lil Nas X, he created he used a lot of creativity to create this video. You know, there was a lot of recreational things that he talked about in the lyrics of this video. So there's the creativity, there's the recreation, procreation. You know, he added that he had to add some type of procreation in there. Now, the theme of this is 6, the 6, you know, the 6, SU, the 6, 666, you know. So that's the theme of it. So the System of Soulless Beings, they told Lil Nas X, they were like, look, you got to make a video that is themed after this 6 energy, this SU energy, but it's inverted, because y'all know in Hollywood, everything is inverted, you know? And he had a checklist that he had to check out. He had to check off. He had a checklist that he had to check off. It had to be super, super creative. He had to talk about recreational things like drugs and all of that type of stuff. There had to be some type of procreation involved, you know, and what's up, Sacred Moon Goddess? And the procreation that he chose to pick was, you know, homosexual. But we gotta talk about that, because it had to be like that. It had to be like that in order for this to work. It had to be like that. Okay. Entertaining. It had to be entertaining. It had to be so entertaining that people are going to talk about this for weeks to come, months to come, you know? So he checked that box. It was very entertaining, you know? If it wasn't entertaining, people wouldn't be talking about it like they're talking about it. So it had to be entertaining, you know? Pleasures. He talked about a lot of pleasures, you know, a lot of different things in those lyrics. Read those lyrics. Pleasures. Romance, you know. Now, the romance, that part is we know what type of romance he was talking about. And if you know what the slang version, what the slang term of Old Town Road, what the slang term of the Old Town Road means, then, you know, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up, you know. Children. The fifth house represents children, which means that this had to be something that children are gonna flock to. This had to be something that children is gonna flock to. You know, had to be something that people are gonna be saying in the media, about the children. And he checked that box off, because everybody and their mama talking about Lil Nas X, you know, how could you make this song and you did all of this stuff for children and all of that. All of that was a setup for this game. It's all a game. I don't know why. I don't know why people look at these celebrities and take them seriously when they're all playing a game. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, even when they die, you know, they put their coin in and they jumped in the wrong pit and it was like, you know, and play, you know, play. Now, when you really take a look at, or when you really just sit back and just really pay attention to that Lil Nas X video, it was really about him merging and becoming one with his lower self, you know, with his lower self, the lower self that has all of the taboo. That devil man represented a Lilith type of figure, you know, everything that you would think is taboo, everything that you would say is rebellious, and I don't want to do this because I don't want to, quote unquote, rock the boat. I don't want to do this because I don't want to rock the boat, you know. And if Lil Nas X had more time, that video would have been even more crazy. You know, that video would have been even more crazy. You know. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. When again going back to the DMX. So I said 6. So we got 5. So we need somebody who is a Scorpio moon. We need somebody who's a Scorpio moon and a life path 1 to finish this off. A Scorpio moon and a life path 1 to finish this off. And guess who was selected? Guess who was selected to do that? Guess who was selected? Your girl Miley Cyrus. Yep, you're right, El Nicole. That's exactly what they did. So Miley Cyrus, you know, she was the first person to buy the Satan shoes. She was the first person to post that she bought the shoes. And when she posted with the shoes, she threw up the devil man pose. See, this is the thing. When somebody in the industry is about to get up out of here, they give you a whole lot of signs. But again, if you don't know the game pieces, if you don't know how to decipher the game, you'll never pick up on it, you know? And you'll look at people like me and other researchers as conspiracy theorists, you know, because you don't know the game. You know, back in the day, this was game that was sold, not told, you know? So we got Lil Nas X, and then we got Miley Cyrus. I think Miley Cyrus is a Aries with she's a Sagittarius. Miley Cyrus is a Sagittarius with a Scorpio moon and a birth path 1. So there you go. There you go. Now that's complete. That's complete. You know? But we know that in this Libra full moon, there has to be 2 of the same thing. One, because we know with Mayat, when we talk about Mayat and Obba, Nani, and every goddess that represents Libra, it's all about balancing out, being able to show you either the balance of something or the imbalance of something, you know? And we are in the age of Aquarius, and we're also in Aries season. So this is Shango, truth, justice, you know, truth, justice. We're in a truth and justice type of sphere right now. We're in a truth and justice. We're in truth and justice type of mentality right now, you know? So in order to keep the truth and justice at bay, they have to add something that is chaotic, artificial, but very similar, you know, because they know that people are so gullible. Like people, you know, they'll cancel somebody for 1 minute, then the next minute they back cool with them, all of this type of stuff, you know. So they got the idea for the Lil Nas video from Queen of the Damned. And I talked about that on my last video about the Capricorn to Capricorn connection. But I didn't talk about the DMX, because DMX, he is a Sagittarius. Miley Cyrus is a Sagittarius, you know? So all of this is just letting you know how this is all one big fear spell, you know? One big fear spell. That's all it is, you know. So when we talk about DMX, and then we talk about Jay-Z, because we know that Nas, he had a beef with Jay-Z, but they're both playing the game, so they can't be enemies. They can't stay enemies. See, DMX, he never wanted to play the game. You know, he was always rebelling against the game. When you take a look at DMX, you know, he was always rebelling against the game. Now, y'all remember with Aaliyah. Y'all remember how Aaliyah and Beyonce was at the award show and the energy was off? Think about how the energy was in that freestyle battle with DMX and Jay-Z. You know? And what was the one thing that DMX used to always say about Jay-Z? He fake. You know? And it just seems like every single person that has came at Jay-Z, he's found some type of grimy, underhanded way to keep them below him. You know? You had so many people that should, it's almost like the Michael Jordan thing. You had so many Hall of Fame NBA players that deserved a ring, but you know, when Michael Jordan was in his bag, he was just in his bag, you know? So first, Biggie got out the paint. You know, Biggie pretty much taught Jay-Z everything that he knew about the certain style that he had. So when Biggie died and he took his suit off, Jay-Z went and put it on and remade himself. He remade himself because the Jay-Z that was with Jaz-O and the, you know, allow me to reintroduce myself, like, those are two different Jay-Z's. Remember, the only reason why Jay-Z has been able to be in the game as long as he have is because of he's been able to master his Virgo ascendant, because Biggie is a Virgo moon. So he's able to come off as a God MC. And he's able to play that role extremely well. He knows how to come off as a God MC, and he can play that role very well. You know, until you got somebody that's real in front of you. You know, see, Jay-Z is like the Chrysler 300 that looked like a Phantom, and DMX is the Phantom. You know that ain't a Phantom when that Phantom pull up. Shout out to Cat Williams. He's a Virgo too. You know? So every time DMX would come up on the scene, he would make Jay-Z look so amateur. Like, he would make Jay-Z look like what he really is. You know? He would make just like how when Aaliyah would come on the scene, she would make Beyonce look like what she really is. You know? So DMX had to be put down a peg. You know, now DMX still had his success. You know, he could pack out big ass music festivals and stuff like that. You know, but as far as the same prestige that Jay-Z got, all of that was orchestrated. yeah, like I said, people are very gullible. You know, they don't care if something is real or not. You got people in Japan and you got people that be packing up stadiums for hologram concerts. You know? So, and remember, people wrote for Jay-Z. DMX, he'll go up in there and freestyle and it'll be hot. You know, when him and Swiss Beats was working on what was it? Hell is Hot. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. And they was working on Get At Me Dog. All of that was a freestyle. You know? And so and to answer your question, the reason why DMX started doing music is the same way R. Kelly started doing music. You know, again, these were traumatized humans, unable to grieve, and they would take their pain and they would take the things that they would go through, you know, in their personal life, and instead of them getting therapy, the microphone was their therapy. You know, the track was the therapy. That was the therapy. You know, and that's why DMX had so much aggression in his music. You know, the same thing with R. Kelly. You know, the reason why he was able to make, what's up, Bliss Life? The reason why he was able to make that music that he was able to make was that he was secretly crying out for help, just like a lot of these artists do, secretly crying out for help. But since the trauma sound good, you know, and it can sell a bunch of records and stuff like that, now we go buy it and now we're listening to it. And you know, DMX, when he first started out, you know, he was robbing niggas, you know. So why is it when you about to do a heist, the first thing that you want to do to hype yourself up to do this heist is to listen to some DMX? X gon' give it to you. Woo! You know? It's all energy at the end of the day. You know? It's all energy at the end of the day. So, and I wish that I had this clip, because number one, I didn't know that Aaliyah and DMX and y'all know, you know, Jay-Z was trying to get with Aaliyah too, but then Beyonce was in the way. You know, exactly. You do. You really do, Gabby the Goddess. You really do. And that's the reason why the neo soul artists, you can't even hear them on the radio no more, because that's not the type of energy that they want us out here absorbing, especially right now. They don't want you absorbing no energy of love and passion and love making and, you know, all of this stuff. They don't want you absorbing that. So, Aaliyah. So you got DMX and Aaliyah. Aaliyah is Akasha and DMX is Anubis. That's why when you see some pictures of them, it looked like Aaliyah is protecting DMX. You know, Aaliyah was the only person, and this is something that issues in general, this is the gift we have. We can bring out the innocence in anybody. We can be in front of a stone cold killer, and just our presence can make that stone cold killer feel comfortable, you know, and damn near he might start crying and spilling out his feelings and all of that stuff, you know. So what do you think the dynamic was with DMX and Aaliyah? Because they only had a short crossing. They only crossed each other's paths for a short time. Remember, DMX, you know, that X is very important. Lil Nas X, DMX, you know, very important. So in the media right now, we've had two devil men. In the media. We got the artificial devil man, because remember what Lil Nas X said. He was like, that devil that y'all talking about is CGI. You know, there was a CGI devil. It wasn't real. It was CGI. So we got the artificial devil man, and then we got the real devil man that's in the news. You know? So it's funny how one devil man that represents the true energy of Eshu, he gotta go so that the artificial devil man can rise. And what we're seeing right now in this situation with Lil Nas X and DMX, we're seeing the old world dying. The old world is dying so that the new world can rise. The AI, the age of AI, you know, the age of these rappers coming back, these dead rappers and these dead singers coming back as a digital AI, that's on you know, social media and all of this stuff. You know, wow. Oh, I gotta check that out. So I thought that was super interesting about how Jay-Z is in the middle of all of this. You know, he's in the middle. It's like he's in the middle of all of this. He had a beef with Nas. He had a beef with DMX. You know, he was with Aaliyah at one time. You know, he's a Sagittarius, just like DMX. DMX used to call him fake. He's fake. You know. So what turns Eshu into the devil man? Because when you look at DMX is a Sagittarius with a Virgo moon. Jay-Z is a Sagittarius with a Libra moon. So what does this mean right quick? Jay-Z is the wolf in sheep's clothing. DMX is the sheep in wolf's clothing. DMX is the sheep that is in wolf clothing, you know, which means that he's a wolf, but he got the heart of a kid. He's a goat. So he's really a goat. He's like a goat, a baby goat in wolf clothing. You know, he's like a baby goat in wolf clothing. The sheep, the sheep, the wolf. No, yes, the sheep in wolf clothing. You know, he act real hard on the outside, and he can come off as very dry, you know, very hardcore. But you know, he's still a little kid. He still got that little kid in him, that baby Eshu in him on the inside. And Aaliyah was the only one who could bring that out of him. You know? And she didn't want nothing from him. And that's the thing. You know? She didn't want nothing from him. So now I wanna take a little time to kind of explain the energy behind DMX. You know, the energy behind DMX. And then I want to talk about the twinning of the DMX, other than the Nas X. See, I ain't seen King Kong versus Godzilla. You know, I ain't seen that yet. So that's something right there. You know, because Godzilla is artificial. King Kong is real. You know, so again, we got the artificial versus the real again. You know, that's all this is about. The artificial being successful, you know, and the real being killed off. So think about all of your artists that came up in the 90s that's still prevalent right now. You know, and most of them are the artificial ones. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Some of these celebrities that you're seeing right now in the media right now aren't even real. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. They're not real. It's all artificial, you know? And the real are dying off. They're dead and they're dying off. You know? And the hidden ones, which is us, the soul family, the hidden ones will rise again and have our place cemented as the bringers of light from the underworld. And we know that the underworld is the world to come. You know? So, with DMX, he had to play two roles. We know Papa Legba is the old messenger. He's the messenger, and he always has a dog with him. Every time you see Papa Legba, a picture of Papa Legba, he always got a dog with him. You know, when the baby Eshu goes into the underworld, Anubis protects him. You know, Anubis is the baby Eshu's pet dog. You know, so when the baby Eshu is in trouble, the dog starts to bark. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh. You know, when the baby Eshu is in trouble, Anubis starts to bark. You know, and we know that DMX is a very troubled individual. You know, now I don't know DMX's full story because I wasn't planning on doing a series on DMX, but I remember hearing something about at 14 years old, 4 + 1 is 5. You know, he was like around this time, he wasn't doing no drugs. He wasn't drinking. He wasn't doing nothing. You know, he was just, you know, he just liked to rap and all of that stuff. So he said at 14 years old, his the person who taught him how to rap. I told you, when it comes to Eshu, a lot of times the one that's gonna sell you out is the one that's the closest to you. Sometimes they're the ones that's gonna sell you out. You know, so at 14, 4 + 1 is 5. Again, that's the 5. I think he said it was his cousin. His cousin gave him a blunt that was laced with crack. His own cousin who taught him how to rap gave him a blunt that was laced with crack. You know? And he's been hooked on that ever since. You know? And that's a real hard thing to you know, for you to go through. You know? So now you got this crack addiction, you're addicted to these drugs and all of this stuff. And when it comes to SU, people already have the lowest expectations of SU anyway. You know, people already have the lowest expectations. So it's like, you know, now he ain't nothing but a thug and a crackhead. You ain't nothing but a thug. You ain't nothing but a thug and a crackhead. They don't care what made him a traumatized human, unable to grieve. And they also don't care about how he got hooked on the drugs. It wasn't like he just woke up and was like, you know what? I'm going to just go to the block and get some crack. No. Remember, Sagittarius is the Obatala. So now let's talk about the Orishas. Let's talk about the Orishas a little bit. So Sagittarius is the Obatala. Remember the story of Obatala and SU. You know, because now we're going to talk about the energy that surrounds why DMX was so troubled, was so mentally troubled, especially when he got in this Hollywood game. You know, now we're going to talk about that. And I also kind of want to touch on if you're someone out there and you have a baby SU, we need to change. SU is telling me we need to change the way that we raise these baby SUs. You know, because due to one thing or another, we're never truly able to make our mark on life like we're really supposed to, because we're so troubled. We're not in our full frame of mind. Even though DMX left a huge mark on the world for what he did, he was not in his right frame of mind. You know. So Obatala, Odua. Remember when Odua first came to Earth, and he set up his kingdom and stuff like that. You had the the first Orishas to come down and stuff like that. And remember when I was talking about Ogun raping Yemoya? And this is another thing about Eshu, because Yemoya loves the love from Yemoya and Yembo, it transfers to luck when it comes to Eshu, because he's already looked at as a bad luck. And I be hating that when I be hearing these mothers and they be like, oh man, he a badass kid, he a bad son, he a bad kid, he a bad kid. You know, stop saying that, because that stuff, we never forget that. You know, every time we're adventurous and every time that we want to, do something and we mess up, like, oh, you just a badass kid, you just a bad kid, man. I got some bad kids. You know, certain things, certain words, we have to stop. We have to get out of that. We have to stop saying certain things to our children, at a early age. A mother's love is extremely important to a baby SU. Extremely important, because Yemoya loves how brave SU was to go and tell his dad something that that she couldn't even muster up the strength to do herself. And she's the great mother. You know, it took a lot of guts. You know, it took a lot of bravery. You know, it was a sacrifice. Eshu was a sacrifice because he got kicked out of his own home. You know, he had to sleep outside in the forest, and he had to wait at the crossroad for his dad. You know, so that was a burden. It was a burden. It was a burden. It's always a burden for Eshu to tell the truth. It's always a burden for Eshu to tell the truth. You know? So, and all of this is going on. When you think about this Pataki, you know, all of this abuse, all of this stuff that's going on in this house, you know, while Odua is, you know, is out being a king, you know, doing what he's supposed to do. And think about the way Obatala felt when he found out about his wife being raped by his own son. And, you know, think about the trauma of that for a minute, because I want to put y'all in the mind frame of DMX. This is the mind frame of DMX. This is why he was so troubled, you know. Now, you can take this and you can take out the Ogun and Yemoya part, and you can put in his real experiences, because I'm just showing you how energy flows. I don't know too much about DMX life, but I know it was very traumatized, you know. So think about for a minute the type of trauma, and the trauma was so bad until Obatala, not only did he become an alcoholic, you know, he became very mentally unstable after that. He became very mentally unstable after that, you know, to the point where when he would go back and he would try to create, because that was his job, to create human bodies and stuff like that, you know. He was creating, he went so mad in the head, you know, and he was so mentally unstable after he found out what he found out. Number one, he actually died, and he resurrected as Obatala Ogunju, you know, the Furious Father. That's the first thing. The second thing, when he tried to go back, you know, creating bodies and stuff like that, he was creating mentally retarded people. You know, that's why in Yoruba they always say if your child comes out mentally retarded, that means that Obatala must have been drunk when he created your body. You know, if something ain't right about your body or something like that, you know, Obatala must have been drunk. That's why now the best place to find Obatala energy wise is in a mental hospital, in a mental asylum, you know, because that abuse made him mentally unstable, you know. It made him mentally unstable. The truth, you know, the truth, as long as he was in his ignorance, you know, as long as things was in ignorance, it was cool. But as soon as the truth came out, he became mentally unstable, you know. So when you look at DMX's career, the more truth DMX will put out, the more mentally unstable that the media would try to say that he was, you know, because again, we live in a society where we're quick to shoot the messenger and throw the message out, throw the baby SU out with the bathwater. We got to quit doing that. We got to quit doing that. You know, we got to start paying attention to the message. You know, if Aaliyah looked like Lizzo, and she was out here, putting out the stuff that she was putting out, making the impact, do you think that it would have been, as impactful as it was? You know, probably not. You know, yeah, we would think about it, but you know, probably not. You know, because we live in a society to where we judge the messenger too much, and we don't look at the message. You know, so a mixture of abuse as far as growing up, betrayal of somebody close to you, you know, and ultimately you always being penalized and punished for telling the truth. That'll make anybody mentally unstable, no matter how talented you are. That'll make anybody mentally unstable. That'll make anybody. I appreciate your Cash App. I ain't even put my Cash App. I just wanted to talk. I ain't even put my Cash App in the chat. I'm gonna put it in there. So if y'all wanna donate, I'm gonna put my Cash App in here. I appreciate y'all. There we go. All right. So, that'll make anybody mentally unstable. So it takes one to know one. Remember, I did a whole podcast series talking about Pambagira and SU. So when DMX crossed paths with Aaliyah, they're both Virgo moons, which means that, you know, Aaliyah at that time, she was in her baby Oshun, Pambagira. She was in that phase, you know, with Rock the Boat. You know, she just got through doing Romeo Must Die. You know, she's transforming. So now for a short period of time, you got the authentic Pambagira and the authentic Eshu, Queen and Slim, back together again for a short period of time. Very short. They had to make it extremely short. They had to make it so short to the point where you don't ask yourself what could be. You know, they had to make it super short. So, a mother's love. And I wanna talk about, because a lot of people, y'all don't truly understand how much a mother's love is to somebody who got the baby issue, you know. And it's so important because in this life that we're living, we come out the womb with the odds stacked against us. I was born premature, so I know I came out the womb. I was barely alive. Like, I couldn't even eat. You know, I told this story before. You know, I couldn't even eat regular food for a long time. You know, so in order for me to stay alive, my mom literally would, you know, because she couldn't afford a food processor, she would chew up the food and she would feed it to me, you know, so I can stay alive. That's a mother's love. That's a mother's love. You know, the reason why I'm so good at having a musical ear and stuff, because my mom used to sing me Whitney Houston songs and you know, Anita Baker songs and all of those things, and she would rock me to sleep singing that stuff. You know, a mother's love. A mother's love. So for a second, I want to go back to my favorite song. And I just want to read some of these lyrics just so you can kind of get a glimpse, because when we talk about the baby issue, a lot of us don't understand to what extent of love we really need. So let me help y'all out, since there's a lot of ladies here, a lot of mothers here, and a lot of y'all have children with Virgo moons. This is something that you need to always tell your children, especially if they're a baby SU, because, you know, it's best for them to hear this from you than for them to hear this anywhere else. It's best for them to hear this from you, you know, because we already gonna have the world that we gotta rebel against. We already got the world that's gonna tell us that we ain't shit. We already got the world that's gonna tell us that we can't do what we came here to do, you know. So this song by Kanye Doss, there's this song, and I played it in my Great World Reset, is by Kanye Doss, and it's called Don't Change, you know. So the first verse reads, "You were just saying, or you represent all that I want. And even when you show your love, it's possible. If there was any doubt that I had in my mind, you gave me a reason to want to try again." You know? And this is not only something that a mother, you know, if you're a mother of an issue, that you need to always tell your children. You know, you should download this song and learn it by heart so you can sing it to your child. Because when we go out and we're looking for a Ayazan to be our wife, we're looking for a woman that's gonna tell us this, you know. We look for a wife that is gonna expect this from us, that's gonna tell us this, you know. And this is the reason why a lot of issues end up getting with the wrong type of woman, you know, or this is why a lot of issues end up being alone, you know, because it's hard to find a woman that says this to you. It's hard to find a woman that'll say, you represent all that I want. And even when you show your love, and even when you show our love, it's possible. If there was any doubt that I had in my mind, you gave me the reason to want to try it again. There is not much you have to prove. You impress me. And it's truth, you being you is good enough. Woo! Hold up. I got to stop right there. There's not much you have to prove. You impress me. Although the truth, you being you is good enough. My fellas out there. How long has it been since you had a woman tell you, there's not much that you got to prove. You know, you already impress me. You just being you is good enough. You know, that's big. For issues, that's big. That is a big, big thing for us. You know, because we go through this life and we get beat down so much that we never truly feel like that we're enough. We never feel like, and this is what turns us bad. This is what turns us into bad boys. You know, This is what turns us into bad boys, because we never feel like that being the baby issue is enough. You know? So you got what it takes. You got what it takes. You got what it takes. And that's what makes you so special. Everything that you do is enlightening. That's another thing. As mothers, you know, I know that your child can do some real crazy things. You know, your child might be fascinated about some, you know, off the wall stuff. But the worst thing that you can tell your child is that, oh, why did you do that? That was so dumb. Like, that was so stupid. Like, that's the worst thing that you could tell your child, you know. As a wife, even if your husband, you know, fucks up from time to time, you know, and you see that he's trying, you don't have to always you know, look for an opening so you can say, hi, I told you so. Hi, I told you so. You know, sometimes, you know, when he mess up, just be like, yo, you got what it takes. And that's what makes you special, because I know you got what it takes. That's motivation. That's motivation. You know, when we out here struggling, we trying to, you know, we one step away from robbing somebody because we're tired. We want to give up. And then we got that person that tells us you got what it takes. And that's what makes you special, you know, because everything that you do is enlightening. You know, Yemoya has a very close relationship with the baby Eshu. And the reason why she have a close relationship is because, you know, Yemoya, for the most part, she stays in the sea. You know, she stays in her emotions. Yemoya's Cancer women, Pisces, Moon, Cancer women, they live in their emotions. They live in their emotions. So they need somebody that is very analytical. You know, they need somebody by their side that can bring them into their element, and they don't have to worry about being a mother figure to that man. You know, as far as, you know, yo, like, this is your area. You're supposed to be the one being the leader in this area. I'm the leader in the sea, but you need to be alpha in your masculinity. You know, you need to be alpha in your masculinity, because, you know, I'm, you know, as a Yemoya, I'm in my divine feminine and I live there. So I don't want to have to play the masculine and the feminine role when I'm out of the sea. You know, I want to be able to go into the hands of a masculine, divine masculine person and be able to let my hair down and be, you know, and be free and not have to worry about anything, you know. And as an Eshu, you know, you're always going to be motivated when you got somebody by your side, you know, that Yemoya that says you got what it takes, that makes you, and that's what makes you so special, because everything you do is enlightening. You know, even when you mess up, I still learn from your mistakes, and it still makes me a better woman. You know, it's so many simple things, and this is something that I don't know why women don't understand this. It's so simple to stroke our ego, especially a baby Eshu, you know, because we just want to make sure that no matter how many mistakes that we might make, we got a good heart, we got a genuine heart, we got a pure and righteous spirit, but we make a lot of mistakes, we fuck up a lot, and we just want to make sure that we got somebody that's going to stick with us through the thick and thin. And that first woman who's going to show you that is your mother. So when we grow up as children and our mothers give up on us, that's a real, you know, recipe for disaster. It's like, damn, like my own mama don't even believe in me. Like, damn. You know, Brother Boyd, I appreciate your donation. Baby girl, you know who you are. I appreciate your donation. Both of y'all. So this is the big part. This is the big part. As a mother, you're supposed to always tell this to your son. As a wife, you're supposed to always tell this to your husband. Don't ever change who you are. Okay, that's simple. That's simple, right? That's simple. But this other line isn't so simple, especially with modern day women, because it says, don't ever change who you are. Don't change for me or anyone. Woo! I just want to bust out and just start shouting right now. She said, don't ever change who you are. Don't change for me or anyone. That's big. That's huge. You know, that's a really big thing. If DMX had this in his life, he wouldn't have went down the path that he went down, as the traumatized Anubis, unable to grieve. You know, the reason why he barked so much is because his inner child is in trouble. His inner child, you know, can't do what he wants to do. You know, he's not in his right mind to create that world that the baby SU can roam free in. So the baby SU got to just keep looking out the eyes of this trauma. And every time the baby SU, every time he feels that pain, because the baby SU, that's deep pain. Imagine you're a mother. Because I want to put y'all in the mind frame of how bad this pain is. Imagine you're a father or you're a mother and you got this precious little baby and it's crying, and you can feel how sad and how in pain and how agonizing that cry is, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's no kind of bottle that you can feed them. There's no type of, you know, putting them on your shoulder. None of that works. You know, that's the type of pain on the inside that you have as a baby SU, and you feel alone, you know, and you got all of these vultures biting you, and you got all of these enemies trying to get you. You know, you're paranoid, you're mentally unstable, you can't trust your own family. You out in the forest, aka you out in these Hollywood streets. Like, it's crazy. You know, this really was hell for DMX. You know, it really was. No, I haven't seen Moonlight. I haven't seen it. So, second verse. Your imperfections, I love it all. I accept every part of you, even your flaws. You don't got to talk to me using clever words, because I already know what you mean before you say it. Man, that's another big one right there. Because being SU, being a baby SU, we have a lot of imperfections about us, because we're perfectly imperfect. So we have a lot of imperfections about us that we're gonna forever be teased about. And sometimes the only thing that keeps us going is that we know we at least got one person that, you know, actually loves our imperfections and accepts us, you know. One of the things about DMX that people would always point out, how stray dogs, you know, how DMX would always welcome in stray dogs and stuff like that, you know. And that's Anubis. You know, Anubis helps the lost souls, you know. So again, that's symbolic. And like I say, when it comes to your wife and your mother, you know, yeah, that's true. You know, you don't got to talk to me using clever words, because I already know what you mean before you say it. Again, you know, and she's a Gemini too, so this is a Ayazan. This is a Ayazan. This is a Ayazan song. I've never heard a song like this before. You know, how good is it to know I can depend on, because you know what it takes to make it all right. Even through the good days and in between days, our love remains. I believe in you and I believe in us. Woo! Bola, 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 bola. Man. Black man, black man, black man. Black man. You know, how is your mental health, black man? How's your emotional well-being, black man? Black man, black man. Have you had someone in your life that even says a third of this, and is genuine, and is loving, and it comes from a place of love? Our love remains even through the good days and in between days. You know, see, this right here, this is a spell. Like I always say, songs are spells, but this is a love spell. This is a love spell that will transform into luck, into good luck. You know, you putting these types of spells on your children, when they grow older, this is going to transform into good luck, because they're always going to think about the love that their mother showed them. And they're going to take that, and they're going to gauge every woman that they get with, and they're going to gauge them, you know, based on their mother's love. And with me, that's why it's hard. It's hard. With me, that's the curse for me. Because finding, you know, someone that's like that, you know, that done all the things that my mom did for me. Whew. That's crazy. You know, we talking about DMX right now, which is a man. So I have to come back and talk about the girls. You know, this ain't the stream for that. We talking about DMX. I understand all this because I'm a baby issue and dealt with a stopped asset need save me, and it comes to me as a Leah. This is so many confirmation. Yeah, exactly. You know, addiction. Yeah. You know, jonesing, that's addiction. When you're jonesing for something, that's addiction. You know, I believe in you and I believe in us. You know, we got to have somebody, and sometimes it's a stranger, but we got to have someone who believes in us when nobody else does. You know, even the soul family, even the soul family, and we understand who we are and all of that. You know, we're still in this world. So, you know, we're still going to have those times where we wish that we can reach out to somebody. We wish that we can reach out to somebody to give us some love. You know, somebody to that we can vent to. You know, Princess Diana was that for Michael Jackson. Who knows? Aaliyah might have been that for DMX and R. Kelly. You know, both of them was plugged in, tapped in. You know, I really feel like if Aaliyah was still alive, she'll probably be a Iyanla Vanzant, but in secret. She'll be the secret Iyanla Vanzant. You know, DMX would have never got strung out on drugs. You know, she would have helped him get off of that. You know, I'm telling you. Yeah, Michael and Diana, yeah. And she was the princess, just like Aaliyah, the princess of R&B. She was a princess too. You know, that died a very violent type of death, like Princess Diana. She died in a car crash. Leah died in a plane crash. You know. And this last part that I want to talk about this song is called Don't Change by Kanya Doss. It says, and this is the thing right here too. I love you just the way you are. I don't care what they think or what they say. You know, out of all of the bad press that a issue is gonna get, you know, out of all the bad press that issue gets, because he's so original and he's so rebellious and stuff like that, and he's standing on truth. You know, I don't care what they think or say, because I know where you've been. I know and this is now this part right here. You know, this is what Akasha. This is what Akasha wants to tell DMX. This part right here is what Akasha, you know, wants to tell DMX, and I feel like she's told him this before. You know, and it reads, I don't care what they think or what they say, because I know where you've been, the pain that you've seen. You've come so far. You are so strong. Let them speculate, insinuate, because they don't see what I see when I see you. All of your goodness, your heart, your resilience. You know, that's deep. That's real deep. That's real deep. You know. So this one song I can pretty much sum up in this one song the type of love that if DMX would have had this type of love, you know, from his mom, you know, from his wife, if he had this type of love growing up, he would be a totally different person. Because see, this is the thing. Even though Obatala is mentally unstable, he's still Obatala at the end of the day. So there would be certain, just like with R. Kelly, there would be certain instances where it would seem like, you know, DMX is kind of turning a new leaf. You know, he start doing scriptures and, Lord, it's my shepherd, and I shall not want. He making me to lie down in the calm of the storm. You know? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil till I have nothing left. You know? It would feel like that DMX is preaching to you, because that's a part of him too. That's a part of him. That's a part of him too. So he'd be like, amazing grace, how sweet the sound. He saved a wretch like me that'll shoot you down. You know? You know? So, no, I was saying that I couldn't think of anything at the moment. I didn't really have. Yeah. And so, even in his mental issues that he had going on, you could still feel that truth. You could still feel that purity in him. You know, you can tell that even though he went through a lot of things in his life, you could tell that deep down DMX is a really, really good guy. You know? And he's an example. He's another example of what happens to Eshu in this media. They turn him into the devil man. You know? They turn him into the devil man X. Because DMX represented the devil man and the dog man at the crossroad. He's a cross between the dog man and the devil man. You know? And he was always at the crossroads. There go the X. He was always at the crossroad. You know? And when you're at the crossroads, that just means that you got some mental problem, that you got a mental conundrum. You got something that you're going through. You got two choices that you got to make, and you trying to figure out which one you want to make, and it's mentally fucking with you. You know, that's you being at the crossroad. Shout out to the Bone Thugs at the crossroads. You know, even Bone Thugs use some of that Anubis energy. You know, Bone Thugs. You know, and I don't know if DMX did a song with Bone Thugs or not. Then you got Biggie. They talking about Biggie got a 666 clothing line. Like, please don't buy into this stuff. It's all, this is all a theatrical, real life reality show. That's all this is, you know? And like I said, when it comes to this situation with DMX, he made a great escape. The baby issue made a great escape, because DMX, if it's true that he's brain dead, you know, that means that you know, his body is still functioning and all of that, but his soul gone. You know, the baby issue has made his great escape, just like he always does. When Aaliyah died, they said that when Aaliyah died in that plane crash, they said she didn't feel no pain. She died before the plane hit the ground. You know, Biggie, when Biggie got shot in that car, he got shot because I think it was I think he got shot like 6 times. Issue 6. He got shot 6 times, and that 6th shot, it hit some type of thing and it killed him instantly. You know, Michael Jackson. Let Dick Gregory tell it. He was killed by a laser. Because I seen the damn Beatles Cadillac. Huh? Fuck wrong with you? He was shot by a laser. You know, Michael Jackson was 50 years old when he died. DMX is 50 years old right now, y'all. DMX is 50 years old right now. Do y'all know in the fifth month of this year, DMX supposed to be coming out with a new album? So if he brain dead, how's he gonna perform anything off of his new album? You know? And this always happens, just like how Biggie had Life After Death, but he didn't live to perform any of the tracks really. You know, Michael Jackson had This Is It that he was about to do, but he didn't live long enough to actually do the tour. Aaliyah, she had music, makeup lines, movies. She had a whole bunch of stuff that she was doing before she died. You know, and they put out all of that stuff. Pop Smoke, same thing. Pop Smoke, he got a movie coming out. He got all this stuff. You know, King Von, he's another Virgo moon. You know, so that's always how they get you. You know, and yeah, and his recent album, yeah. So we got DMX. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, because this is gonna put y'all for a loop. So hold on right quick. Let me put this in. Okay. So, as y'all know, if you're in the show production industry, you would know that there's a such thing as a DMX cable. There's a cable called the DMX cable. Who in the chat is in show production and has worked with DMX cables before? Because now I'm gonna show y'all the twinning of this whole situation. You know, so if you don't know what a DMX cable is, look it up. You got the 3-pin. You got a 3-pin DMX cable. You know, 3 represents SU. When you see the 3-pin DMX cable, is literally black and red, just like SU. You got the 3-pin DMX cable, and then you got the 5-pin DMX cable. I'm going somewhere with this, so just walk with me. This is the last walk because I got to get up and go to work in the morning. You got the 3-pin and you got the 5-pin DMX cable. So the DMX cable, if y'all don't know, these are used to connect lights. They're used to connect lights, you know? So what does that mean? That means that this DMX cable, it got a female end and a male end on the same cord. On this cable, on this DMX cable, there's a female end on one end, and then there's a male end on the other end. You know? Because that's the DMX cable. So, I just Googled it. It looks like what I use for my microphone. So there's a difference between a DMX cable and an XLR. You know, those are two different things. They look the same, but they're kind of different. You know, they're used for different things. So the DMX cable, one end of the DMX cable is usually connected to like a console that controls the lights. I'm going somewhere with this. Walk with me. The DMX cable, it plugs into the console. One end plugs into the light source, whatever that is, and then the other end plugs up into the console that controls the lights. You know? So, the console that controls the light, you know, that's, you know, you're plugging your DMX cable into artificial. This is an artificial intelligence. It's artificial, you know, and it's intelligent, you know. And then the other end is whatever you programmed into that console is going to project out in that light. So what do we have in our homes? What do we have in our home that's is like a projector of light? You know, there's a remote that you use. It's like a console that you change the channel to the different lights, to the different projections and stuff like that. You know, TV. So now let's go back to the Lil Nas X and the DMX. So Lil Nas X in the Devil Man video, when he did the homosexual act where he was lap dancing on the artificial devil, and they were supposed to be like having sex or something like that, he was plugging into artificial intelligence. So he was the female end of the DMX cable. He was like the female end of it, you know? And these had to be two black men to do it, because the DMX cable is a black cable, you know? It's showing you two sides of a situation. Libra, we're in Libra, balancing out two sides. So we got the DMX cable, Lil Nas X, you know, he's on top or he's plugging in to this artificial intelligence on one end. And then on the other end, you got another Devil Man X, and he's plugged in to life support. He's plugged in to life support on this end. And he had to be, Lil Nas X, it had to be gay. It had to be a homosexual thing, because the DMX cable has the male end and the female end on the same cable, you know? So what do you call you know, somebody who's you know, going on both sides, you know? The lower level would be, you know, LGBT or whatever. The higher level of that, when you possess both the female and the male, you know, you got access to both of those types of energies. That's androgyny, you know? That's androgyny. So now you understand about the GOAT, why it had to be Lil Nas X with the Capricorn moon, the androgynous Baphomet GOAT. Y'all get it? The androgynous Baphomet GOAT. You know, that was the symbol that was on the shoes, the shoes, his shoes. You know, Aaliyah, when she was throwing up the rock, all of that, you know, all of that represented that. And we also know that Virgo is known to be a androgynous zodiac sign. That's the reason why we can be hermits like we can be, because inside of us, we can go within, and it's easy for a Virgo man to connect with his feminine side. And it don't always have to be LGBT. You know, we could just be very comfortable with our emotions, and very comfortable with that side, to the point where we're very balanced. You know, Virgo is the androgynous sign. You know, again, going back to the DMX cable. You know, when you got a Virgo moon, you know, and you plug in to that truth, to that purity, and you plug in, you know, think about the type of light that you emit, because we're talking about lights. Think about the type of light that you emit out, that you project out. That's the type of light, because that's the sun, soul, sun, you know, that's the type of light that they're trying to eradicate from this planet. You know, that's what that symbolizes. That's the type of light that they're trying to eradicate from this planet. And instead, they would like to plug everybody up into this artificial intelligence. You know, we're already kind of plugged in anyway. You know, you can't go a second without your phone in your hand or, you know, stuff like that. But they want to make it even deeper, so you won't have a mind of your own and stuff like that. But as long as the real light is around, the fake light is going to always look fake. You know, the fake light is always going to look fake. Now, this is the big thing right here. Now, if you go to Google and you say, what is the purpose of a DMX cable? What is the purpose of a DMX cable? It's going to tell you this. It's going to say DMX cables are what we use for lighting. You know, the cable's purpose isn't about carrying an audio signal. The purpose is carrying information or data that will communicate changes between lights and the source. That's all. That's the only sentence that I want you to focus on right now. The cable's purpose isn't about carrying an audio signal. You know, it's carrying information or data that will communicate changes between lights and the source. You know, that's extremely, extremely important. But I bet y'all don't get it because I'm talking about DMX cables. But this not only speaks on DMX because he's only one man. This talks about, you know, the Eshu energy in general, because the Eshu energy in general is the energy of the Messiah. And what did the FBI say that they don't want to create? They don't want another black Messiah. They don't want another black Messiah. And DMX, with the stuff that he went through and with the passion in his voice, you know, he was a black Messiah to a lot of people that went through those things, and they didn't think they had nobody that they can relate to and all of that, you know. So DMX has always been on close watch, just like all of the other issues that's made it to Hollywood and met their demise, you know, unless you can be controlled. You know, if you're willing to play the game and be controlled, and you're a Virgo, you got a Virgo moon or a Virgo ascendant or a Virgo sun, and you would be controlled by this game, you know, you have a little longevity. You know, you have a little longevity. But the cable's purpose, it isn't about carrying an audio signal, you know, and that's the purpose isn't about carrying audio signal. The audio signal part, that's talking about your destiny, the part that you can change, you know. So DMX, he didn't necessarily have to be a music star. You know, he didn't necessarily have to be a music star. That's not what they cared about, because at the end of the day, you know, the music industry makes money off of your music as well. You know these artists be signing these shitty deals and all of that type of stuff, you know. But so it says the purpose, it isn't about carrying an audio signal. It isn't about what you do. It isn't about what medium that you use. It isn't about that. But what they care about is when you're carrying information or data that will communicate changes between lights and the source. That's what they care about. That's what makes somebody like DMX a marked man. This is what makes somebody like XXX Tentacion a marked man. When he started talking about we need to start being positive and we need to stop being on these drugs and all this stuff. And then he became a marked man, and he was the XXX, you know, representing the crossroads, and he died on a road. He died on a road, you know. So carrying information, you know, this is being a messenger. When you're carrying information or data, you know, that's being a messenger that will communicate, that's Mercury. Communicate, that's Gemini, that's Virgo, that's being a very good speaker, you know, a very good speaker, a very good communicator that will communicate changes. Oya, goddess of change. Oshun, freedom, change, you know, freedom. You know, changes. Tupac, he had a song called Changes. You know, DMX, he was created to change, you know, to change what Diddy started. You know, see when DMX came out, everybody was kind of trying to be on that Biggie style, that Diddy style. And then DMX came in and brought it back to the Tupac with the shirt off and the and you got the people in jail doing push-ups and the dogs barking, and you know, see, DMX took it back to death row, took it back to the death row, and showed you what was really going on in there, you know, because that's the real, that posh type of stuff that Diddy be talking about, that ain't real, you know, that ain't how niggas in the hood are really living. That ain't how niggas in the ghetto are living. They living like what DMX be talking about. I slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. Slipping, falling, can't get up. You know? Y'all gonna make me act a fool up in here. You know? Niggas ain't talking about some tits and bras, sex and inexpensive cars, menage a trois, you know? A nigga rapping about blunts and bras, you know? Not everybody living like that. So that's why DMX was so relatable, and he was so memorable, you know? And he was getting to the point where he was communicating changes between the lights and the source. So what are the lights? The lights are the solar beings, you know? Lights are the melanated people here that have souls. And the source, you know, that's God. And we know how towards the latter part of DMX's life, you know, he's very in tune with God. You know, he's very in tune with God. You know. So again, you know, just in case you still need some proof, who is the Orisha that communicates data and information, you know, communicating changes, and stands as a intermediary between the lights, aka the solar beings, and the source, which is God? You know, who is that Orisha? Who is that Orisha that does that? You know? And with that, you will understand why DMX had to go. You know? Because, you know, DMX, he wasn't going to be silent for long. You know, they gave him a lot of bones, a lot of Scooby snacks, a lot of things. But I really feel like that DMX was about to do some issue type shit. and he was about to let some stuff out of the bag, you know, and they're like, hell no, we can't let that happen. You know, we gotta, yeah, I'm gonna just keep it right there. We just not gonna let it happen. You know, when Eshu get mad and he wanna spill the beans, then that's when he gets kicked out. That's when he get kicked out. You know, kicked out of his body. You know, when he start wanting to spill the beans and tell it all, that's when they start coming for you. You know, why? Because you know, this system of soulless beings, they don't really have a lot of new tricks. They don't have any new tricks, so they gotta keep their old tricks sacred. So they can't have you out here telling every single thing that's going on. They can't have you out here spilling the beans like that, especially if you're a known person. They can't have you doing that. You know. So, you know, I don't really know what else, because I had so much. I feel like I talked about. I think I covered what I wanted to talk about with this. So in closing, with this full moon, you know, with this week, you're gonna keep getting that that prosperity and abundance that you're getting, if you're already getting that. The key right now is letting your intuition lead you. Letting your intuition lead you. Listening to that voice of truth that we all have inside of us right now. That's gonna be the biggest thing, because there's gonna be a lot of illusions, a lot of fakery, you know, a lot of illusions. And in order for you to see through this, because it's simple for somebody like me, or, you know, somebody who's, you know, who has the baby Eshu to analyze everything and put it in a way where I can talk about it. But for somebody who's just dumbfounded, it's easy for you to get washed up in this current of fear right now. Everybody's in fear about something. Remember, the energy right now is order, justice, and truth. Order, justice, and truth. Those are the three things, because we're talking about Easter, the 3 days, the resurrection. I don't see I'm not gonna say anything else about the DMX thing, because I don't want to talk about certain things before they happen. But yeah, those three things: order, make sure that that you're orderly in your emotional life, in your spiritual life, you know, mentally. If you need therapy, make sure that you do that. It's very important right now. And I always talk about therapy. Order, truth. Make sure that you're standing in truth. Whatever you're listening to, make sure that it's in truth. You know, make sure that your intuition is on point, so you can be able to you know, pinpoint the lies and stuff like that. And justice. You know, never feel like, when you're standing for truth, when you're standing for what's right, never feel like that you're alone and you're just gonna be thrown to the wolves. You know, never feel like that, because you're always justified when you're doing something with a pure heart and a righteous spirit. You're always going to be justified, no matter what. And if you heed those three things, My love, you will be glad that you did. I appreciate y'all, Soul Family, for being with me. I wasn't planning on going live, but I just felt it in my spirit, because right now we need to, since we know who we are and we know what Orishas we represent, now it's time for us to realize not only who our children represent, but we need to learn how to raise our children accordingly. Once you find out that your daughter is a baby Oshun, there's a certain type of regimen that you need to have to raise that child. If you have a child that is a baby Oshun and then you got another child that's a baby Shango, both of these children are gonna need love, but it's gonna be a different type of love for each child, for each one. Having that strict masculine guidance, strict alpha masculine guidance is very important. We need to close our homes back up. We need that father in the home. It's very important. I don't know where would I literally grabbed my dad and I was like, look, when I did my Akashic record on myself, I was like, yo, you gonna be my dad. It's important. It's extremely important. Especially for an issue, because you being a single mother with a baby issue, and you talking about, oh, I'm just do it all by myself, and I'm just not going. No. Because it's gonna be imbalanced, and with us issues, balance is extremely important. And DMX was a life path 11. So he had to show you both sides. He had to show you the bad, and he had to show you, the good, and put it all in one, So if you're judging DMX from the outward appearance, there's so much about him, so much about his life, so much about his music, so much about his work outside of the studio. It's so much that you're just not going to be able to experience, because as issues, our lives are far from ordinary. No matter who we are, our lives are never far from ordinary, and we're very humble. We're very humble. So, if you ask us about our life, we probably, man, I ain't really been through no more than what you went through. We try to downplay it, but when we really start telling you what we went through, it's a hell of a story, So with that being said, I appreciate all of y'all for stopping by. I appreciate y'all for the donations. The On Point Orisha Tarot hopefully will continue next week. And yeah, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And like I always say, no matter what, you got to stay shining. You got to stay shining.
I know you fine as hell, but you ain't got no ass. So I don't know why you keep on poking it out and switching your hips when you walk past.
Damn, bro, for real?
For real? Please send me this shit when I record.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you, fool.
No, bro. Hey, that wasn't even me, fool.
You
That
can
wasn't even
sing,
me, bro.
fool. I know you can sing like that, fool.
You suck, fool. You suck.
I'm posting this shit, fool. Damn.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah. What it do? Yes, you know I had to rap on this, man. Play up in the building, Mr. Chipmunk. MPD in the building. Hey, Mr. Chipmunk, don't sing on this jump, fool.
Hell no, nigga, shut up, bro. You gotta erase this shit, bro.
Bring it on in on her. Let's go.
Don't kill it right quick. Don't kill it right quick, bro. Don't kill it, bro. Let's go.
say I'm ballin' like magic. Racking, living like so lavish. Just for 24s on my caddy classes, swerving, looking out for traffic. On tracks I reach so much havoc, punchlines go automatic. Ready to put these young and white plastic rappers in the early casket. I'm about my paper, got money rolling like 26s. Most of futuristic, exquisite lyrics, I'm so addicted. Wanna hit that strip, I'm straight ripping bad bitches in the back. Shoot off like a gat, haters steady watching like Cinemax. How ill is that? Hit the strip club and throw up a couple racks. Nouveau Rose popping, them bottles cost me 500 flat. All the muscle flashy, these trashy haters don't know how to act. Plus I keep that toolie, my goonies packing, we fully strapped. Hit the VIP, sip the Hennessy with my fellow peeps. Niggas talking beef, but them suckers shake you like jello beef.
Damn, bro, you went hard on this one.
Yeah, what up, Chipmunk? Mr. Chipmunk, dog kid at home.
Yo, I'm in my mansion, strippers dancing, steady glancing with panoramic view, and I don't know what to do. I see some girls looking round, they ain't got no ass, and they poking it out every time they walk past. I'm like, damn, baby girl, why you gotta be like that? I don't know, only thing is that I know is that I can't rap, but I can stay on the beat. It's Mr. Chipmunk, and you know what I do in the street. I like to get crunk, yeah. And I'm still on this beat, yeah,
Okay.
and I'm back on these nuts.
You stupid. Hey, I like that.
I said I'm still on this beat, and if you don't like me, you can get on these nuts.
Dog need a real chick, so that's what I'm going for. But this rap game calling me more than B4. You know me, I'm chasing this rap, taking shits on beats and it's splitting open my ass crack. What the fuck you niggas trying to do? You think I ain't talking about you, Mr. MC? Well, we'll see who truly got skills for the world to see. Man, you know it's me. I got a different type of dog in this 2C. Is it corny to say it's far-fetched? I don't know, dog. Hip-hop got me so blessed, cause it's on every song I go 100%. I love feeding you niggas these hot 16s, cause it's like a seed that grows into a tree. And soon enough, I live that triple beam dream. And even now, you niggas can't fuck with me. They quick to betray a brother like Cain and Abel. Just cause I'm getting paper, I ain't talking staples. You shouldn't let jealousy change you. You other niggas down here just ain't stable. I'm on the sky high dragon spitting straight flames. Been killing all you fake niggas all day. Like I said, man, I have no shame. So keep spreading all that bullshit up about my name.
And if you don't like it, you can get on these.
Yo, what is poppin'? Before the video starts, I just want to let you all know that I give readings just like the ones that you see every Monday on my channel. I give on point Orisha Tarot card readings for singles and also for couples. I also do natal chart consultations. My Everything is Everything reading is by far my bestseller. If you want to check out any of these services, please visit my website at www.bandclaptv.com. And also, when you go to that website and you scroll down, you will see a link to go to my shadow work class. In this time that we're in right now, shadow work is very, very important. Getting to know yourself, your inner child, really knowing who you are. All of these things are extremely important. And I have a very, very informative self-paced course. Shout out to Spiritual Ascension University and Melanie the Spirit Doula for allowing me to be able to give you all this very, very priceless course, if I do say so myself. So again, if you want to check these things out, go to my website, www.bandclaptv.com. All right, on with the video.